So then there are these two guys. They're just these like two doofy guys, and they're kissing up to Lieutenant Harris. They're kind of like his goons, right? So he goes to he tells them there's going to be a big party. I want you to find out where it is so I can get everybody in trouble and kick them out. Okay. So then they go to Leslie Barbara and they say, "Where's the party?" And he's like, "I don't know. Ask Gutenberg." So these two guys ask Gutenberg where the big party is, and he figures out what they're doing, and he tells them, "You want to go to the Blue Oyster. That's where we're all going to be hanging out." So then these two dippy guys, they show up to the Blue Oyster bar. The door closes behind them, and it's Leather Daddies.
Oh, shit.
We're back in cruising, baby.
Yeah, oh, Blue Cruising.
And then they're like, "Oh, boy, this is gay guys. We got to get out of here." But then they kind of block the door. They're like, "No, you're going to be gay now," you know? And then we kind of cut between those two guys in the gay bar, and then we're having a straight fun time on the beach. But when we cut to the guys in the gay bar, then the guys in the gay bar, they start making them do a tango. Okay. They're just like, there's like tango music, and they're dancing around with the gay guys. Yeah, I don't know what the blue... Yeah, what is like the Blue Oyster?
Okay, but blue...
Like, do you think after a night of gay sex, you're like, "Hey, guys, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm hungover, but I had so much gay sex last night. My oyster is blue." Blue oyster.
That's why he dances like that. He's got a blue oyster back there.
Well, the accident-prone guy, after he hit his wife with the suitcase in the crotch, she had a blue oyster. So then those guys are at the Blue Oyster, and every time they cut back to them, they seem to be having a better time. Like,
that's so weird.
I think, again, they're kind of getting into it. The one guy's... the last thing we see is slow dancing. And the one guy still looks confused, but the other guy seems like he's just asleep on the other guy's shoulder. Okay. I feel like he's embraced the lifestyle. Either way, they're confused about what this means and what their feelings are. Right. It's a journey. And then we keep cutting back to the beach, where now we're having a straight time. Okay. And it's a very 80s... Every 80s movie had to have a saxophone and gratuitous breasts. Okay. And this movie has a lady take her top off for no reason next to a guy playing the saxophone.
Oh, hell yeah.
It wins the award. Tackleberry's playing the saxophone, and women just start taking their tops off for no reason.
Love it.
And then Kim Cattrall and Gutenberg go make out on the beach. So they're getting hot and heavy. Nice. Which then Harris calls Gutenberg into his office, and he's like, "You know what? I'm sick of your shenanigans. I am going to kick you out." And then he's like, "Oh, finally." And then he looks out the window, and Kim Cattrall's doing cute little things, showing off her new little shorts and uniform. And Gutenberg's like, "Well, I'm in love." And he's like, "You know what? I can't leave." So now he's in for the long haul because of love.
Love.
They show, like, at the gun course, they do this thing where they give them guns and they make them walk down this, like, Old West looking place where, like, cardboard cutouts come out and they have to shoot them. Right. And people do okay. The fat guy's bad at it. And then Tackleberry. He's like, "Follow me," to the instructor. And then Tackleberry, he's doing flips. He actually runs into the building and shoots the cardboard cutout from behind. He's having the time of his life. Oh, and then the Latin lover dresses up like a lady to go sneak into the dorm. And then Callahan comes in, his superior officer, and she says, "I know what you've been doing here. You've been sneaking in to fuck these ladies." And then she does a judo thing and throws him on the bed. And she's like, "I'll show you how fucking is." She's like, "I'll show you." And she kind of forces herself on him. Oh. She's his superior officer, but she's a hot lady, so it's great. Yeah. And then later he's telling Gutenberg, like, "Did you ever have a woman just throw you down and fuck you?" And he's like, "No." And then he says to the Latin guy, "You know, your accent goes away sometimes." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm faking it." Oh. He's been faking it.
Hell yeah.
But it's been working out for him. He's the coolest guy in the whole movie. Yeah. Now we get to the centerpiece of the film. Okay. So the two dopey guys working for Harris, they realize that Gutenberg sent them on a wild gay goose chase. They realize that Gutenberg made them confront their own homosexuality. So they have to get back at him. So I guess their plan is to hire a hooker and put her in the dorm to get... I think they're actually trying to get Leslie Barbara in trouble because she's in his room. And then, Harris is coming up to discover her. And then Gutenberg sees the hooker, and he's like, "We got to get rid of her. I've got an idea." Gutenberg goes to this room where there's like a stage and a podium. and it's an auditorium. So Gutenberg takes the prostitute and he hides her under the podium. And then he's like, just wait here until the coast is clear. But then who comes in but Commandant Lassard with a group of muckety-muck bigwigs who he's giving a tour of the campus. These are the important people that he's trying to impress, and he's going to give a speech. And he's like, oh, shit, I can't let him see me. Gutenberg goes under the podium and pulls the curtain, right? So now Commandant Lassard, this lovable, goofy old man, he goes to the podium. Everyone sits in the audience, and now he's going to give a speech and do a slideshow about the college. He starts giving the speech. The hooker opens the curtain, and she's crotch level, and she's like, well, I am a hooker. I guess busman's holiday, huh? So we hear her. She unzips his pants. And now we see this poor old man's face. He's given the speech. He feels someone start blowing him under the podium, but he can't reveal what's going on. He doesn't want these people to know this is the kind of place he's running. So he's like, I can't go. I'm getting blown, guys. What's going on? So this poor man is trying to go on with his speech while getting a blowjob, and he's struggling. He's getting filleted against his will in front of his superiors, and he's trying to keep it together. And also Gutenberg's down there just hanging out watching.
Oh, he's real.
He looks a couple. He looks
okay,
and he goes, "Oh boy." Ooh. And here's the thing: we see this has never been captured. You usually don't see men orgasm on film. We see this poor old man in front of a group of people. We see his cum face. We see him have an orgasm. And it's such good acting because I swear to God, right after he comes, you see him get sad for a second.
Oh, no.
It's so many emotions. Oh, no. You see this guy with non-verbally, this poor old man, you see his post-nut shame.
Oh, no.
And then it goes zipped up again. Oh. You see this poor, sweet old man. It doesn't cut. He comes. He gets sad, and then the people leave, right? And then he just walks away from the podium like in shock. He's in shock, and then he's like, "Well, I should look back and see who it was." He looks back. Right then, Mahoney's coming out from under the podium, and he looks at Mahoney. Mahoney smiles, and he's like, "Oh, I just got a gay blowjob from Mahoney, who I work with." And the rest of the movie, he's just processing this. Because he was already confused. Yeah. And now this old guy doesn't know what to do. And then he goes to Lieutenant Harris, and he's like, Mahoney is a bad man. Mahoney did something very bad. This is his boss. Yeah. Mahoney blew his boss, he thinks, just to show him who's boss. Oh, God. That's a power move. Holy shit. This guy. So Mahoney, and now Police Academy is really raising some issues about how men do not report sexual assault. So Commandant Lassard, he's confused, and he's like, Mahoney's a bad man. And Lassard and then Harris is like, well, what happened? He did something bad. And he goes, to who? And he's like, to who? Can I go home? He just has to deal with it for the rest of this comedy. Yeah. And then it ends with graduation, and they're going to graduate. And he's like, and we're going to give special accommodations to Hightower, who saved the day, and Gutenberg, who saved the day. And Lassard's there, and then Hightower goes up and he's like, thank you. And then Gutenberg's like, I've got a big speech to give and so many people to thank. And then we look down, who's under the podium but the hooker. Oh! So now he's going to have to give a speech while he's getting blown.
Oh, my God.
And Lassard's like, now, how do you like it? And we don't see that speech because I think that might be an even weirder speech. Because I was just thinking about Lassard. He's like this absent-minded guy, and he's trying to give a speech, and it's just not working because he's getting a blowjob under the podium. Right. And it made me think, like, maybe like that's what's been going on with Biden. Like, what if he's lucid, but he's treating the presidency like he's in Quiet Riot? Guys, when I'm not on stage, I'm wearing sunglasses and having ice cream. And when I'm behind a podium, Joe's getting blown. The past was doing its best.
That's the theme song.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They were doing their best.